We now bring in, yes, it is jersey maintenance down here. We now bring in the head coach of the USL-W side for South Georgia Tormenta, Jim Robbins. Coach, we've started talking about laundry before you came on. And specifically, when it comes to me and doing laundry, it is an adventure. And so I usually will have to buy like a size or two up because of shrinkage, because if I mistakenly put something in the dryer or I really screw it up. When it comes to laundry there in Statesboro, how is it done now? Is it done successfully? Is there shrinkage? How successful is laundry there in Statesboro when it comes to you and getting to wear all the Tormenta stuff?
I was gonna say it depends on who does it down here. We got Colt. He's our guy, so he does it for all the players. So I know he does an A+ 4.0 type of job there. Yeah, for me, yeah, that's a whole different story. I just bought a new jacket the other day, and I thought I was an extra large. Maybe I'm not anymore. I don't know. Age kicking in on me. So I bought a 2X. I'm like, yeah, I'll size up just in case. Trying to play those factors there, John, just in case it shrinks a little bit, or have too many Cokes and too many chocolate bars on the way to these games. But it's always an adventure, that. Always an adventure.
Exactly. So I just wanted to double check to make sure that I was on an island, because I traditionally will buy things at least 2 sizes up to allow for laundry shrinkage. Yeah. Reason that Nick and I had you on the show this morning is that you kind of have something starting coming up in a couple days, and it's the defending a title. What has this offseason been like? Well, first off, where's the trophy? Where is the trophy, by the way?
That's a great question. It's not at my house. So no, I think it's going to be up in the clubhouse. They have it in the office. So it's here. It's getting a lot of views, from everybody coming in and out of the restaurant there. But yeah, Darren Nietzsche, they got it up there proudly.
Well, what's it been like as a defending champ? What's this offseason been like for Tormenta W?
Well, it's been pretty exciting. I mean, we started the recruitment process for this year's team. That was basically August 1st. Once the college season started, and it was good in terms of we're sending out emails and making some calls, and now we got a little bit of street credibility that we're able to sort of flaunt. For those coaches, hey, come to us. Here's what we offer. Here's what we did last year. So I think that helped our sort of the scope and the radius of our recruiting for this year. I mean, we knew going in after last year that last year's team was really built sort of as a one and done, to use the basketball terms. We only have 3 returning players from last year's team, so we needed 22 because we do keep a tighter roster here. But yeah, the reception on the other end was fantastic. I mean, I had a lot of great conversations with college coaches, really trying to build out the network in terms of agents and bringing in players who are internationals. So it opened up that sort of recruiting pocket as well. And we are really happy with where the team is right now. We're excited to get to the first game. We got here May 1st. Last year I looked at my notes. We started with 5 kids last year, for the first 8 or 9 days, and look how that turned out. And we started last Monday with 11 or 12 kids. We'll have the full roster here starting Tuesday. So we'll be minus 1 game, but full roster will be in, and we're really excited for where it's going to go. But definitely that really helped to lay the groundwork and create a platform for us that we didn't think we would have.
Nick Alifi for Jim Robbins. Go for it.
So my dad, our family's all down in Savannah. And so he told me about a time that his team of older guys played, I guess, the embryonic stage of Tormenta's women's team. And he said, okay, the first time we ran them off the field, and they came back a couple weeks later and they drew even with us. And each time that we played them, they grew in skill and cohesiveness exponentially. To go from that to a title team in a very, very short period of time, what was the process for you guys to get this from where you had a collection of players to a title, and what, in sporting terms, virtually overnight? What was your process for that?
I think it really comes down to a couple things, maybe some that we tried to control here, and maybe some that are sort of controlled for the players. And sort of what I mean by that is, as coaches, as you guys both know, we take every training session, we take every game. What do we learn from that? What do we have to work on for the next session, for the next game? So we sort of took it piece by piece there. We realized what we did well and what areas we need to work on. We made a couple tactical adjustments as the season went on and moved a couple players around. So I think that was the part, really that we controlled that led to that transformation a little bit. I think the other side that I think some people may not know or understand is, and this is what we tell all the women who come here, that our environment is fully professional. What we mean by that is, Darren and Nitra, they provide housing for all the players here in Statesboro all together. We have all our meals here all together, in the clubhouse. And I think those interactions that the women have away from the field, and it is something as simple as, having lunch together 7 days a week, having breakfast, those kind of things, in addition to, the bus trips and all those things. I think that really was it was probably a bigger deciding factor for us, was just that, our ability to have those kids be together and interact almost 24/7. I'm not sure any other teams in the league, really have that or offer that. But, doing this 31 years now, I'm not going to say that wasn't key, because it was super, super important, I think, to our, success as the season rolled on.
And we caught up with Julie Carlson from Greenville Liberty in hour number 1. And coming into a season, there's always the really random reach outs from players and trying to figure out, okay, so I have a player from Europe who's reaching out to me on WhatsApp to be a part of this process. As a defending champ, how widespread were the contacts to try to be a part of Tormenta this year, considering what you've established now in a championship atmosphere and pedigree? What were the off-season conversations like for players that wanted to get involved? How wide-reaching was this?
It really surprised us. It was sort of like we said before, the outbound communications that we had went very, very well. The inbound communications, whether that comes through the sort of that link that we have, if you're interested, fill this out, and that information comes to me. But we had some agents, reach out directly to us. We thought we were going to get a 5-year professional player out of Venezuela. We really worked to get her, and that turned out to be, a little bit of a visa passport issue. But I mean, this woman was fantastic outside back. I mean, I think she was 3-time league player of the year. And the sort of the contact was her agent knew someone who helped get one of the players here on our men's side. So we were super close to getting her. I mean, I think the surprise for us is I had a gentleman reach out to me out of Florida, and he's like, "Hey, here's who I am." And I didn't know him from anybody. Here's who I am. I got a player who, Racing Louisville just signed. I have, one of her teammates down here in Florida. She's going to community college. I tried to get her there. I know about you guys at Tormenta, blah, blah, blah. Would you be interested? Yeah, send me some film. And I said, oh my, this girl can play. She can play. So, keep your eyes on Celine Ota, a Nigerian full national team player as a 19-year-old, going to junior college in Florida. I mean, she got to Statesboro on Monday. First training session Tuesday. Where are we today? This kid can play. I mean, 2 days in, we're like, wow. So, if that's any indication as to how last year helped us for this year, I mean, that this kid is going to be fun and exciting. And I mean, everybody here is talking about her, and she is the most humble, down-to-earth, personable player. But I told my wife last night, how's it going? I said, you should have saw Celine meg 3 of our teammates in the first possession game yesterday. These kids had no idea what was going on. And all of a sudden, toe poke Meg, you're like, wow, okay, this girl's at a different level. But no, it's too fun.
Oh, Nick, go for it.
So we're at the time of year when a lot of kids are graduating high school, right? And they're looking for what those next steps are going to be. They're probably having highlight videos made. They're probably, putting together their packages for colleges and whatnot. As a coach, I imagine you receive a fair amount of these videos. What do you look for For parents out there who are like, how do I get, a package that will get my kid noticed? What's the first thing you look for as a coach when you get inundated with these videos?
It's a great question. I think maybe it's my age a little bit, but I know, when we first went through the coaching schools way back in the early mid 90s, it was, what are the 4 pillars? Technique, tactics, psychology, fitness. We were sort of drilled that back in those days, but still, I mean, they have to have a certain base level of technique, regardless of position that they play, experience, the whole 9 yards. So for me, especially the way that we want to play, we are very much a little bit more of a tight possession type of team. We want to circulate the ball around. We want to play with 1 and 2 touches. So that is probably the highest priority in terms of us, looking for players. Having a good tactical understanding, of the game is also critical. I don't think we're a club or we're a program that prioritizes height and speed and athleticism. I think if that comes in as a bonus, that obviously helps. So we're looking for kids who have those skill sets too that fit in with what we're trying to do. I think this year we want to try to go to sort of a possession buildup where we can get into this 2-3-5 shape or this 3-2-5 shape as we get into the final third. So we need kids who can take care of a ball, who can get themselves down the field, who can combine in tight spaces. So it's really those couple things that are of interest to us. Like I said, for our team, a lot of times a little individuality it's not going to hurt you either. But we have a nice mixture of skill sets here, and it's going to be a fun, challenging season for us to try to put this together. But for like I said, anybody who's interested in us, those are a couple things that are important.
You're in the South Central this year, and your first match is in Austell this weekend up against SSA. And when you look at the rest of the division, you look at the teams that are going to be a part of this, part of it with you in the Southeast. What are you looking at for the folks that are in the division? Because you've got Chattanooga is there, SSA is there, Tennessee SC is a part of this. When you look at the rest of your division, what do you see?
I think it's going to be similar to last year, where it really, in my opinion, it really was a tight group from top to bottom. We had a couple lopsided results at the end of the season, but I think that was really due to roster issues by our opponents, not being able to come down and field a full team. But other than that, every game was close, every game was competitive. So we expect that same thing. Our goal is obviously to get to that July 23rd game, but we know it's not going to be easy. And I think if you ask anybody, in our division, any of the coaches, that I think they would all agree that we may have one of the toughest divisions in the entire league down here. So I think there's a lot of truth to that. But somebody made mention that the other day that obviously the USL-W champion came out of our group. That could again happen this year. I think that sort of upper Midwest group is going to be tough again. I think that far West group out of California is going to be tough. But I don't think there's really any easy game on our schedule that I'm looking at. Yeah. And I'm hoping that the players do the same, that they know that we got to bring our best 90 minutes on Sunday if we want 3 points.
Tennessee SC, South Carolina United FC, North Alabama SC, Birmingham Legion diving in. Tormenta is there with Chattanooga and SSA. That's your South Central Division. Nick, go for it.
Okay, where in Austell? Because people need to know where in Austell, John, we can go and watch this game. All right, because it's not terribly far from us, and we're wanting to. And there may be some people who are tuning in and hearing about all of this for the first time, and I want to make sure that they hear where to go and what to do, because we're not gatekeeping information around here. Where can they go to watch this game?
All right, Coach, cut the promo for me. Where are you heading?
Marathon Park, Austell, Georgia, 7:30 kickoff Sunday. We will see you there. Yeah, we'll be coming in the big bus. Look out for us.
See, there you go. That's your promo. Coach, thanks for coming on, especially as you're getting ready for the first week of the season. Really tough division, defending champs. It's going to be really cool to see everything. Thanks for coming on with us. We'll keep an eye on the schedule, and we'll catch up with you really soon.
That sounds great. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of the day.
Jim Robbins, head coach of Tormenta's women's side, and defending champs in the league, sir.
Yeah, we need to find out about game streams for people
Yep.
who can't get out.
Traditionally, Coco and Bam, it's on 11 Sports, or it's done individually by the teams. So 11, ELEVEN Sports is where they are traditionally. So keep an eye there. Tormenta is very, very good about posting where things can be seen, where they can be found, those kinds of things. So as a public service to Bam and Coco and everybody else that want to know, Sunday night, where you can catch this particular act out of the South Central Division with Tormenta, your defending champs in USL-W, heading to SSA. Keep an eye on their social media platforms, and they will be more. They will let you know where you can watch it. They'll give you the updates and everything. And just so you know, it is Tormenta W League on Twitter, at Tormenta W League on Twitter is where you can follow along with the Tormenta in the USL-W as they chase after a back-to-back title in USL-W League. And they're in the returning players to watch category. Coach mentioned one of his new players, Autumn Kayeli for Greenville Liberty, that we had Julie Carlson on in hour number 1. 5 goals in the Academy Cup, Golden Boot Best 11, South Carolina commit, returning to the Liberty for this particular season. And also Ellis Nemtsov for South Georgia Tormenta, second leading goal scorer for them last year. And she's going to have, obviously, with the folks and the turnover that we had from last season to this season, Ellis Nemtsov, keep an eye on her for South Georgia Tormenta. Gigi Espinoza for Southern Soccer Academy for SSA. 18-year-old Mexican youth national team regular returns to SSA. You've got Maggie Shaw, a 2-time SoCon Defensive Player of the Year in Chattanooga. So when Coach was saying that this particular conference is going to be one of the tightest and most competitive in the W League, he wasn't kidding. So you've got a lot of stuff going on with South Georgia Tormenta. Very, very cool stuff there. And it was great and once again, thanks to the Liberty and thanks to Coach Carlson and thanks to Edwin Pintor and everybody down at Tormenta for letting us catch up with Coach Robbins in a game week as they're getting ready to start their season. And we'll have a lot more of these interviews with the USL-W sides because we want to catch up with everybody in the division that is going after it. Yes, we do. We stand Tormenta in this SDH network.
They get the bump.
Yeah,
they get the bump.
They absolutely get the bump as a defending champ and as someone who has been a part of the ride with us in our 7th season here of doing Soccer's Morning Show. They definitely do get the bump, and so it's great to catch up with them. However, we can catch up with them on a daily basis.